iOS 16 sucks really bad, and so does my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I've made a couple of videos here since I've had the phone. The phone's been out for several months now, and we went through iOS 16, 16.1, 16.2. Now we're on 16.3, and I'm still having a lot of issues. In fact, I'm having new issues. So the new issue today, and I've had iOS 16.3 for probably about 5 days now. I went and I was trying to send some messages, and I was having a conversation with my wife over iMessage, and the send button became non-responsive. It would not let me send any messages. So I kept tapping, 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 probably like 20, 30 times, and then ultimately I hit the wrong button and it processed something else because it thought I was trying to send. I don't know what it did, but it didn't send the image and it cleared it out. So anyway, I closed it, I opened it back up, I was able to start sending messages. But then I had another problem. The iMessage, it was truncating and cutting off part of the conversation. So when you have the chat window, then you have the keyboard, it was holding like a quarter of the screen underneath the keyboard, and you could swipe up a little bit to get to where you could see it, but then it would slide back down underneath, and I couldn't get the keyboard to go away. So that was fun. And then it seems like the animations, I'm having some issues with them being janky and choppy and taking longer than usual to move like in between apps sometimes. And then another one that I have that's a really big problem, and this one has persisted since the beginning. I can't AirDrop stuff sometimes. I try to AirDrop stuff, and I try to send stuff to my cloud or like send it to my Google Drive. I'll go into my images and I highlight them, and it grays out. It won't let me send anything anywhere. The only thing I can do is unselect them, go into the image one by one, and then I can send them that way, or I can upload them that way. But it'll do this almost every single day. Like once every couple of days, it'll allow me to do it. I'm like, oh, thank goodness this works. But yeah, that's a problem. And the other problem that I was having that persisted through 16.1, 16.2 is my screen will become non-responsive. I'll be doing something. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I could be in iMessage, I could be in Spotify, I could be in Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and the screen will just turn non-responsive. And I can't swipe up to get it to go away. I can't do anything. Basically, I have to turn the phone off and turn it back on, or wait like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it'll finally become responsive again. And I've had a lot of folks who are like, oh, well, why don't you try another phone? I did try another phone. I had the iPhone 14 Pro originally, and I had that, and I was having the issues. Well, I decided I wanted the Pro Max, so I took the 14 Pro back. I got the 14 Pro Max. I even set it up as a new phone, because some people are like, oh, did you set it up as a new phone or did you restore it? No, I set it up as a new phone, and the issues are still there. Now, they did get a little bit better for a little while with 16.2, but then they came back and they were worse than ever. And then another problem that has picked up is it gets really hot whenever I'm recording. And used to be, it would get a little warm. I mean, anytime you use a smartphone camera on a phone, it's gonna put the processor under load. It's gonna get a little warm. It was getting really hot, like to the point where I almost couldn't hold the phone. And this is only after a couple of minutes of recording. And this has never happened before. This has never happened. And it just spontaneously started doing it on 16.2 the last couple of weeks before 16.3 came out. So yeah, I'm still having quite a few issues, and it's very, very frustrating. And to the point where I don't want to use the phone. If I didn't record my videos using my iPhone and using the latest and greatest iPhone, because that's what I do. The new one comes out, I get the new one. That's what I record my videos with. I don't use a big fancy camera setup. Yeah, that's kind of how things work out. And that's why I carry it around, because I shoot my videos with it. I shoot my B-roll with it, and also like iMessage to talk to my kids and my wife. It's been a really frustrating experience. And I've been saying stuff on Twitter for the longest time. And of course, every time I say it, I get like a whole bunch of people. I'm not having that problem. You must be doing something wrong. I'm not having that problem. I don't know what's wrong with your phone. Clearly it's defective. You're the only one having issues. Nobody's ever had these problems. Anyway, it's very frustrating. Or the other one I get is, oh, well, the Pixel's having problems too. Look, this isn't a gatekeeping session. They can be mutually exclusive issues where you don't have to make it a competition and go, oh, well, yeah, iOS is having problems, but also Pixel's having problems, so your problems, they don't matter. And I try to be very, very sensitive to this because it irritates me. Whenever I say I've got a problem, and then all I get is, I'm not having that problem. I'm not having that problem. What? You're doing something wrong with your phone. Like all these people that want to try and troubleshoot and tell you how much they know about the phone more than you know about it and how you're not really having problems. It's frustrating. And I try not to do that whenever I present things or when I respond to stuff with other people having issues. But this has been the worst Apple product experience I have ever had. I am really not impressed with it. I wish I had my iPhone SE 2022 back. I even thought about getting another one and just using that for my iPhone and going back to just using the iPhone Pro Max for my recording. Or even just going to my iPhone 13 Pro. I've got an iPhone 13 Pro that was a champ. Fantastic phone all last year. Never had any issues with it. iOS 15 was very good. So, yeah, it's just really annoying. And I wanted to come back and share my experience because, one, I like to put this stuff out there because some folks don't know where to go to, or they might be experiencing the same problem and they're looking around going, well, I'm having these problems, but nobody's talking about it. And I know other people are having the problems because I posted it on Twitter and I've had 3, 4, 5 people just in the last couple of hours this evening who said, I'm having that problem, I'm having this problem. Even a lot of the other big tech reviewer guys are like, yeah, this has been a really janky experience and iOS 16 has been terrible, especially with the iPhone 14 series phone. So overall, moral of the story is Apple's really making me mad, and I'm really, really, really close to getting rid of my iPhone because this thing is just not. It's an exercise in futility every day when I try to use this phone. There's always something going on with it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe at some point I have Apple Care. I might just see about getting it swapped out. But like I said, this is my second one already. I don't necessarily think that's going to fix it. I think that there's just a lot of problems when it comes to iOS 16 and the iPhone 14 series phones. But that's all I got. I'm going to wrap this one up. I just want to let you guys know, look, if you're having some of these problems or other ones, sound off in the comment section. I'd like to know what kind of experience you're having. But overall, there seems to be a pretty large federation of people who are having a lot of problems with iOS 16 and think that it's really janky. So that's all I got. If you're having problems, sound off on the comment section. If you found this video helpful, if you like this stuff, I don't really make a lot of iOS or iPhone content, but it happens from time to time. Sometimes it's not me complaining. But if you like these videos, like I said, hit the like and the subscribe button, the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.